The reason that so many people support Luigi Mangione is because people are sick and tired of being taken advantage of by systems that are supposed to be in place to protect them or at least make their lives easier. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Sandra Said What. And I'm so sorry for barging in on y'all, not even saying hi, just being rude and walking up and just start talking. Okay. I know the last time you guys saw me, it's been a minute. I think the last time you guys saw me, I said you guys would either see me in 2 weeks or 2 months. No, in 2 months or 2 years. But I literally, it hasn't been 2 years quite yet. But I literally didn't even expect to not be online for this long. But I have been wanting to come back to YouTube. I've never left YouTube. I may not post, but I'm still on YouTube. You know, I'm a consumer, just like y'all. I watch videos. I follow a lot of people. I follow a lot of trending topics. But honestly, being a creator is difficult. And the funny thing is, I've actually filmed videos, but I get to the part where I have to edit, and editing, any YouTuber will tell you, editing takes a lot of time. It's very time consuming, and I prefer to film, like pre-film versus stream, because I feel like the quality of the video of streaming is not always the best. So I prefer to pre-film with my camera, which is not working right now. I'm gonna get it checked. Side note. But yeah, so I haven't seen you guys in almost 2 years. I've just been busy. I've been traveling. I went to Greece. I went to Nigeria. I think I went to Mexico before the last time you saw me. I don't know if it's before or after. And also, you guys know I have a business, if you guys don't know. But, I've primarily am focusing on my fashion because I have an online boutique, which, we sell fashion and beauty products. It's called Sandra Silva. Let me put my hand down because I talk with my hands a lot. So, yeah, it's not that I haven't been wanting to be on YouTube. It's just YouTubing is a lot of work. And sometimes I just don't have the time to film, edit, and post and do all that good stuff. And the worst part, I'm sure you guys can relate, never having enough space to edit. So even when I start editing, it's like, okay, you've ran out of space. So I can't even do what I'm trying to do to post, to upload, to create thumbnails. Anyway, long story short, I am trying to be more consistent on this channel. I do have a second channel, which is more towards what I do, the type of content that I create almost daily. It's fashion and beauty content. It's called Sandra Said What Lifestyle. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, give me a follow there. I post mostly there, but I mostly post, the real type. I forgot, it's called YouTube Shorts over there, because naturally I'm creating that content. I can just upload whatever I've created for Instagram or TikTok and upload it there. But I'm trying to come back here and be more consistent. And the funny thing is, I was thinking, what topic do I want to talk about? There's so many topics. There's always celebrity drama, there's always breaking news, but and I don't always feel the need to have an opinion on something. And there are so many content creators that are doing that, and they're doing a great job. But sometimes I feel like there's one particular point I would make up on the subject that even if I watch five or six, seven people talk about it, they never make that particular point. So I'm like, that's not enough for me to create a video on it. Or maybe I just literally don't have the time to create content. But like I said, I'm trying to be more consistent. I don't like to make promises I cannot keep. My hope, I would love if I could post like once a month. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but it's like if I start with once a month, maybe later on, I can become more consistent in posting here on this channel. Like I said, I post on TikTok. So if you on TikTok, follow me. I post on Instagram almost not every other day. I post on my other channel, Sandra Said What Lifestyle. Again, if you're into beauty and fashion content, that channel is definitely for you. But I still want to have this channel as part of, to grow a community that I can talk about serious topics on. And I don't just want it to be serious all the time, but there are certain topics that I feel like really need to be addressed. I do want to give social commentary, even if it's like something we can kiki about or something we can be more serious about. I still want to make that type of content because community to me has always been a big part of my brand and identity. And I would never not want to, nourish that and nurture that. Anyway, long story short, I'm here. Thank you guys for sticking with me. Those of you who stayed here, didn't unfollow, unsubscribe, please don't unfollow or unsubscribe. But if you want to, it's your prerogative. I would like for you to stay. Um, yeah, so today I'm here because I'm upset. I had an experience that made me very upset. And also, I'm a healthcare professional. I've talked about this before. I don't I don't know how I feel about telling people about my um personal, what am I trying to say? What am I trying to say? I don't know how I feel about telling people about my personal life, outside of social media content, because I know when something happens on social media, people try to take it offline and that jeopardizes your career and things that you work for. I do have like a healthcare degree. I work in healthcare. Needless to say, I know that I'm not the only person that has bad experiences with healthcare. I've told you guys before about my experience of going to the doctor and having severe pain, and he referred me, insisted that I went to this ER, that I was sitting there for hours, almost the whole day. I was just waiting. I don't know why. I think it had something to do with this, but he felt the need to send me because majority of the people that were there, it seemed like there were people that, no offense, that maybe didn't have good insurance or didn't have insurance at all. And the I don't want to offend anybody, the quality of the hospital was not up to par as to where I would traditionally go to get care. And he insisted I went there. I spent almost a whole day there suffering and pain before I could. And then I ended up leaving and went home and got some ibuprofen, and I felt so much better. And by the time I had seen the doctor, I said, I'm going home. Actually, no, I said, I'm just leaving. As I'm about to leave, I said, I'm going to go home, get some ibuprofen. If I don't feel better, I'm going to go. And I had severe pain. So I never felt pain like that in my life. So after I went there, I went, I was eventually called and I was seen and I was prescribed, guess what? Ibuprofen. And I was so upset that at the experience. And now on top of that, I had insurance, full coverage insurance. Yet they still billed me as if I did not have insurance. And the bill was like 20,000 something dollars. Hence my point here. I am so sick and tired of the way that the healthcare system, on the financial side, on the insurance part of it, not even the insurance part, not the healthcare system. Well, that needs a lot of regulation and improvement too, but particularly today I want to talk about the insurance part of it. It's so unregulated. It's just, you could go here to for a procedure, it's $20,000. You could go to somebody else and it's $2,000, and it shouldn't have to be my responsibility as a person who pays for healthcare. Even if I don't pay for healthcare, as a patient who's sick or experiencing any time of discomfort, to be scrambling looking for the best deal on healthcare. And guess what? And on insurance coverage and payment. And most of the time, we don't even know who's covering what and how much they're charging for based on what. So a lot of the time, we don't even know where to even begin, so we feel hopeless and helpless. And I'm saying all that to say, I had another recent experience that kind of like prompted me. I said, you know what, this is a good comeback video, but it's something that I want to talk about also. So I was talking about Luigi Mangione, right? So he is the one that um killed the United Health CEO, and most of the public are on his side. Now, I'm not saying it's right what he did. I'm not saying that he should have done it. I'm not saying that that man deserved it. What I'm saying is I can understand why people are on his side. And I think the reason, as I said, is because a lot of people have been slighted by insurance companies. A lot of people have been hurt, have been taken advantage of. You're paying a premium on top of the hundreds of dollars that you're paying for your monthly coverage. What the hell is a premium? Now, I've looked into it. I know what a premium is. Supposedly, it's supposed to make the cost fair and reasonable for everyone. But the thing is, if you didn't make it expensive in the first place, I we wouldn't need to pay the premium to keep the cost low in the first place. You feel me? So my recent experience is that we were supposed to. I'm saying we because I don't want to give the full details of who was involved and blah 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 blah. All right, trying to maintain some privacy because after all, the internet is not. Anyway, so we're supposed to do a procedure, right? And eventually, it was an eye surgery, right? So eventually, the keep going to the doctor. They're like, yeah, you're gonna need surgical intervention. Okay, so They call us, the doctor's office call you. You know, this is how much. This is what the process. This is the payment process. Blah 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 blah. Blah. And they're telling us we're gonna need to pay hundreds of dollars because we haven't met a premium yet. We haven't met our deductible yet. So that's why I meant earlier. What's a deductible? We haven't met our deductible. So because of that, okay, once you meet your deductible, the doctor's fee, the surgeon's fee that's going to perform the surgery is going to go a bit lower. But first, you need to meet your deductible. Okay, this is going to be $600+ after you meet your deductible. Okay, cool. So, but there are multiple parties that's going to be involved in doing the surgery. So a lot of doctors, they use other people's facilities to operate, right? Perform surgeries. The next thing is, so I'm like, okay, give me a list of all the parties who are going to be involved so I can reach out to them. And I shouldn't have to do this as a patient, as a patient's family, as a patient supporter, because when you're going through stuff, particularly health related stuff, it you don't want to focus on anything else but the person's health, right? So long story long, reach out to everybody. I need you guys to give me your estimate after the deductible's been met. Um, then that's weeks prior to the surgery. So reach out to the anesthesiologist, who's going to be a different fee. And they give me a quote. It's going to be this amount for I think like almost $1,000 just to perform the surgery, not counting the surgeon's fee, which is $600+ after you meet your deductible with insurance that you pay hundreds of dollars for monthly, right? So then we have the surgeon's fee. Anesthesiologist, their fee is almost $1,000 to perform the surgery, and then it's like $4,000 for 15 minutes of anesthesia. So that means if the procedure lasts longer, it could be more. So after the deductible, it's going to be 200 something dollars. Okay, not so bad. Reach out to the facility. Now that's the third party involved, right? That the doctor is going to be using to perform the surgery. Reach out to the facility to get I need an estimate of how much it's going to be. And mind you, I reached out weeks in advance for this. Let me slow down. Usta. So reach out to them. And what happens? They don't get back to me till 3 days before the surgery. So they're like, yeah, we're reaching out to let you know how much is going your part of it is going to cost. It's going to be due on the day of the surgery, and it's $5,000. And as a healthcare personnel, as a person who serves the public, as a as a service provider, and I'm saying like anybody who works anywhere is a service provider, right? We are usually on the brunt of people's anger because although I always try to understand when patients are upset about systemic things, right? They're upset about what's going on, and you're the first person in front of them, so you're the person that they are going to take it out of, right? So they need to release their frustration and anger. So most of the time it's not justified or warranted, but I understand it. So I'm not saying that, and that goes back to my point of the United Health CEO. Was he the one making the primary decisions? Probably not. I'm sure he had you know I'm sure he had rules to abide by. I'm sure he had structures to follow and guidelines to follow, and he had to meet a certain quota. And he was being given, I'm sure he was given instructions on what to do and what not to do, what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. And at the end of the day, he works for a company. They have to maintain their bottom line. He could very well be somebody who just had a job and was trying to feed his family. So again, I'm not saying it was right that he should have lost his life that way. And I'm saying it is an unfortunate situation to be placed in that position where, as a sick person, you are being denied coverage, especially when you are paying hundreds of dollars for insurance, or either you're being told you need to meet a premium, a deductible. I don't know why I keep saying premium. You need to meet a deductible, or you're being told that it's going to be $5,000 from today that you're going to have to shell out in order to perform a surgery that, mind you, we were told that the most expensive part would be the surgeon's part of the surgery. That would be the most expensive part of it. So if the surgeon's fee is $600, the anesthesiologist is $200. Mind you, that's like almost $1,000 right there. Not everybody got $1,000 to spare, especially when you're paying hundreds of dollars for full coverage insurance. And then you have this place calling you, telling you, oh, you're going to have to give us $5,000 in 3 days. So I'm like, where am I going to get this money out my ass? And it's not even, oh, you have the money, you don't have the money. Even if I had the money, I wouldn't want to pay it. I pay full coverage insurance every month. Why am I paying $5,000 and you're telling me I have to pay it in 3 days? And then I love when they go into, we have payment plans. You can pay 30% on the day of, and then you pay the rest within 3 to 6 months. Make it make sense. So I was so frustrated, and I'm just saying, I understand again that it's not the people's fault. The people who are calling, they're just the service providers. We work in customer service. We service people. However, my anger, or yeah, I'm allowed to be upset about that, is more towards companies that take advantage of people who are supposed to be protected. And it just, the frustration, I think when I went to the doctor that day, I was telling him this is what's going on. And I was telling him the pain, the level of pain I was feeling. He could have prescribed me something right then and there. Why did you insist I go to this ER and spend almost the whole day suffering? And I'm talking about, I went there around 8 a.m. I didn't leave till like almost 4 p.m. When I say all day, I mean it. And so, long story long, I wanted to comment, ask you guys, what's your experience and how do you guys feel? Because I know I'm not the only one. I know there are plenty of people who are upset, and the sad part is every single one of us have experienced something like this in America. Whether it's like your car insurance, you're paying however much every month if you get into an accident or they need to fix your car. It's like pulling teeth to get them to want to do anything for you. It's like you're begging for the money that you're paying in the first place. And I think it's sad. And at some point, it even crossed my mind that, okay, do we have to go overseas to go do this surgery? Because this is a simple procedure. Oh, and so the facility also, when they were asking them, why is it so expensive? They said something about an upgraded lens. But by the time they got back to us, they said, actually, no, it's not an upgraded lens. It turns out that we were out of network. So you were going to make us pay almost $6,000 to $7,000 because you, one, either didn't do your due diligence or you did not care to say, hey, you guys are out of network. You guys, it's better that you guys go somewhere to this place. I'm sure when we call the insurance company, they're going to refer us to a different place that we can do it. I'm sure it's going to be a lot cheaper, because I was like, there's no way that a simple surgery, this surgery, should cost this much with full coverage insurance. Even without it, the way that these companies bill people, it's insane. The pure greed. And again, it's the people on the front line who get the insults, who get the abuse, who get the backlash. Meanwhile, the people who are getting all of the money, they're not even worried about it, because they've got so much money that they can pay other people to take the insult for them. Meanwhile, it's the CEO that's walking the street but again, I'm not saying he's innocent or not. I'm sure he has a part to play in how it's regulated and what's, if you're a CEO, I'm sure you have a lot of say on how a company is operated. But at the end of the day, there are people that have investors that they have to answer to. And that pressure goes from one person to the next person, and ultimately us, the little people. Anywho, so that was my thought for today. Hi. It's not funny, but it's just like, oh my gosh, I haven't been on YouTube for a while, and I'm just so glad to see you guys. I will. I don't want to say too much. I don't want to say too much, but please just follow me on Sandra Said What if you're interested in fashion and beauty content, on Instagram, on TikTok, on here, Sandra Said What lifestyle. And so yeah, I will see you guys later, and you guys can shop my boutique. I am currently in the process of rebranding. I've done a lot today. And yeah, the next step is just like publishing everything. And I'm just excited. I can't wait to see you guys later. Mwah.